Hey everyone, I'm Richard. In video 7 we successfully added player movement controls. In video 8 we're implementing save and load functionality, so players can save their character creations and load them back later. Let's start by creating a container on the right side of our interface to hold our save and load controls. Open the main scene and navigate to the interface canvas layer. We already have our left container with all our customization panels. We'll create a new VBox container below it and name it right container. Set the custom minimum size X to 330, matching our left container's width. Switch the layout mode to anchors and set the anchors preset to right wide. This positions our container on the right side of the screen. Time to create our save and load panel. Inside the right container, create a new panel container and name it Save Load Panel. Apply our panel style by going to the theme overrides, styles, and loading the panel style we created earlier. Inside the Save Load panel, create a VBox container. Set the theme override separation to 15, keeping it consistent with our other panels. Create a button and name it Save Button. Set its text to save, the custom minimum size Y to 70, and increase the font size to 30 in the theme overrides. Duplicate the Save button and rename it to Load Button. This gives us two matching buttons with consistent styling. Then let's change the text for this one to Load. Save this branch as seen in a new Save Load Panel folder within the Interface folder. And then let's double-click the scene to open it in isolation. Now let's add the script for our Save Load Panel. First, we'll define our class name Save Load Panel extending panel container. We'll create two signals, Save Pressed and Load Pressed. These signals will notify the main script when either button is clicked. Add references to both buttons using onReady keyword. You can either drag them from the scene tree or type the paths manually. In the ready function, we'll connect each button's press signal to their respective handler functions. The onSavePressed and onLoadPressed functions simply emit our signals to whichever script is connected. Now, switch to the main script. We'll implement the save and load functionality. Add a reference to our save load panel using the onReady keyword. In the ready function, connect both signals from the save load panel to our save and load functions. The save character function handles writing our character data to a file. We'll use FileAccess to open a file in write mode. The file path will be a JSON file called character save in our project's root directory. We'll get our character data by calling getCharacterData, which will collect all the current customization values from our panels. If the file opens successfully, we'll convert our character data dictionary to a JSON string using JSON.stringify. Store it in the file and then close the file after. For the getCharacterData function, we'll create a dictionary containing all our character customization options. It will call all the getter functions on each panel to retrieve the current values: the name from the name panel, hair color from the hair color panel, skin tone from the skin tone panel, and the selected armor and weapon from the respective selection panels. It calls all the getter functions on each panel to retrieve the current values. We are still missing our load character function, so let's create it now. It will handle reading our saved character data back from the file. We'll open the same file, but this time in read mode. If the file exists and opens successfully, we'll read its contents as text into our JSON string variable. We'll create a new JSON object, then parse the text string and save whether this operation was successful or not into parseResult variable. Then we close our access to the file since we're done with what we needed it for. If the parsing succeeded, we'll pass the parsed data to setCharacterData, which will update all our panels with the saved values. So let's go ahead and create setCharacterData as well. This function takes a character data dictionary and calls setter functions on each panel, passing its corresponding information. However, if we look at our code now, we'll notice that these getter and setter functions don't exist yet in our panels. We need to add them. Let's expand our left container node and start with the name panel. Open its script and add a getInputText function that returns the current text from the line edit. Then add a setInputText function that takes a text string, sets it on the line edit, and emits the change signal. This ensures that when we load a saved name, it triggers all the same updates as if the user had typed it manually. Let's now move to the hair color panel script. Add a getColor function that returns the current color from the color picker, and a setColor function that takes a color, sets that color to the color picker, and emits the change signal. Now jump into the skin tone panel script. Add a getTone function that returns the current skin tone string. and also a setTone function that takes a skin tone string, updates the current skin tone variable, and emits the change signal. Finally, let's open the script for the selection panel, which is used by both our armor panel and weapon panel. Add a getSelected function that returns the current option, and also a setSelected function that takes an option string, updates the current option variable, and emits the change signal. Let's now head back to the main script. The getter and setter functions we just added will allow us to save and load our character data seamlessly. But in order to save and load colors into a JSON file, we just need to add two small adjustments. JSON only supports basic data types, so when saving the color we need to convert it to an HTML string. And when loading, we'll convert that HTML string back into a color object. Let's test everything. Hit play and create a character with your preferred customizations. Try moving around to make sure everything still works. Click the Save button. This should create a character saved JSON file in your project's root directory. Now give it a different name and randomize your character to change all the customizations. If you now click the Load button, your character should instantly revert to the saved customizations, including the name, colors, and equipment selections. Let's stop debugging and check our generated character saved JSON file. Here you can see everything that's being saved with its values. As a final touch, we can add a call to load character inside the main's ready function, so that whenever the game starts, it automatically loads the last saved character. And that wraps up our character customization tutorial series. I hope you found it helpful for your own projects. If you have any feedback, or if there's something else you'd like me to create a tutorial for, let me know in the comments below. If there's enough interest, I'll definitely consider making a video on that topic. Thanks for watching.